Hi, and welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live, coming at you in the middle of an ugly 6-0 loss. I guess not technically loss yet, but 6-0 deficit. We'll call it that for right now until the ninth inning comes to a close. Rangers not having a great day out there today. The offense has tallied a total of one hit, and that came to Ezekiel Duran a little bit earlier on in this one. Garrison Garabito on the bump right now, kind of the fall man at this point for the Rangers in a game that's getting away from them. Justin Turner up to bat right now. We just saw Julio Rodriguez hit a sacrifice fly to center field, make this a 6-0 game. Bases were loaded, so could have been a lot worse. Runners on first and third now, one out. We're going to bring you the rest of the game in this one, finish it out with you, talk some of the key moments in this one. A little Randy Arozarena controversy. Today on a home run celebration. That was probably the most interesting thing that happened in this game from a Texas Rangers perspective. Andrew Heaney, once again, not getting a lot of run support. You just got to feel really, really bad for the dude. Just not getting a ton of run support at all this entire season. Rangers down 6-0 in this one. Justin Turner looks like he just missed a hanging curve slider in the middle of the plate. Wyatt Langford with a real strong throw. That was one of the best throws I've ever seen Wyatt make. Catches the ball, fires it in home, trying to get J.P. Crawford. It was a real close play, but it is now 7-0 on the day. What's up to everybody tuning in? I appreciate all you guys here at Right on Rangers. We cover everything sports, but we put a big emphasis on all the teams that we love from the great state of Texas, including the Rangers and especially the Rangers during baseball season. Thank you for choosing Right on Rangers for everything Rangers post-game content, live play-by-play at times. Look, we really appreciate the support. We did Cowboys earlier today, so some of y'all might be from some of my Cowboys lives. It's a rough day for the Cowboys today, too. Rough day to be a Dallas-Fort Worth sports fan in general. But as I said on the Cowboys live, rain or shine, win or loss, we're here covering all of your favorite teams from Texas, the Dallas-Fort Worth area specifically. Throw the Longhorns in there too. Hey, we're diehards here. And just because we're having a little bit of a rough season doesn't mean we don't show up. That's a true fan right there. It is pretty brutal watching some of these games, especially some of these Rangers games up in Seattle down the stretch. But nevertheless, we're here. Sarah, appreciate the sub. Thank you so much. Appreciate you hanging out. You guys have any other comments about the Rangers, questions, things you want to talk about, drop it in the chat. I'd be more than happy to go through it with you. We'll have some in-game play-by-play here, so we got plenty of content to work with. But if you want to talk anything Rangers baseball, MLB, please drop it in the chat. I'm sure maybe we'll have some Cowboys comments in the chat coming too. We can talk about everything today. This is one of those games. It's 6-0. The Rangers haven't done very much. There's not a whole lot for us to go off of, not a ton of storylines. I'm going to talk about the Randy Arozarena moment here in just a second, though. He's up to bat right now in this one, and Garabito plunks him. Garabito hits Randy Arozarena. This is perfect timing. Perfect timing. Randy Arozarena just gets hit by Garrison Garabito. Not a shock, man. Not a shock. And Randy Arozarena, look, I don't know how deserved it is, but Randy Arozarena just gets hit by a pitch. Was actually just about to talk about this. So Randy Arozarena hit a pretty big home run in his last at-bat. Pretty big home run. And let's just say he really, really enjoyed it going around the bases. Really enjoyed and had fun with his home run celly. I can't say that I had a big problem with it. Look, I can't say that I had a big issue with Randy Arozarena's celebration. If I could take, kind of the oppositionist viewpoint here, I think the Rangers are being a little butthurt myself. You're having a bad year. you're having a bad series, and you're letting the Randy Arozarena home run celebration get you all up in your feelings. And look, I muted Backsick and the Bally broadcast because they were just going off on it. Mike Backsick was kind of going into a big diatribe about the right way to play the game. Come on, dude. Like, can we sound any more old head on the broadcast? That's just my opinion. I'm not a big fan of getting on other teams for their home run celebrations, especially when you're losing, especially when you're getting your butt kicked by a team up in Seattle this weekend. Do we really need to add insult to injury and start whining about home run celebrations? So they plunk Randy Arozarena. Looks like Garabito's going to get a little ground ball out here from Mitch Garver. Mitch Garver's had a huge day against the Rangers. Of course, Garver was a big piece of the Rangers World Series team last year. More on Garver in a little bit. Back to Arozarena. I watched the entire replay, and yes, it's very obvious that Randy Arozarena enjoyed the celebration thoroughly going around the bases. Very much enjoyed the celebration. But do we need to be hitting him with a pitch or getting up in our feelings about it after it's over? Like, no, we don't. I really did not think that was necessary in the slightest. So with that, I think it was a little bit weak from the Rangers to be whining, complaining, and then resorting to hitting Randy Arozarena in the next at bat. Again, on the Bally broadcast, Backsick, Dave Raymond, kind of talking about the right way to play the game and basically Arozarena not playing the game the right way. Look, we have Adolis Garcia on the team last time I checked. Can we just be honest that Adolis Garcia has enjoyed plenty of home runs over the course of his career and doesn't really look a whole lot different than Randy Arozarena? I bet Dolly was out there in right field. Actually, he's not even playing today. I bet Dolly was looking from the dugout like, what's the problem? Like, Adolis Garcia does exactly what Randy Arozarena did. I just thought it was kind of a weird take, even from Heim and also from the broadcast guys, to be upset about that. I mean, look, I personally did not mind the celebration at all. Yeah, of course, I don't love the home run getting hit, but do I care about the celebration? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think that Randy Arozarena hit an epic home run. That thing was mashed. Enjoy it a little bit. And you know what? Rangers, if you don't like it, do something about it. Do something. Jonah Heim especially. Like, I love Jonah. I'm not sitting around here trying to dog on him, but Jonah Heim, seriously. Come on, dude. You of all people should be the least person upset by that home run. You have hit absolutely hardly any home runs this year. You've been absolutely terrible this entire season. You have no room to be getting mad at people hitting home runs. And if you don't like it, do something about it. Do something about it, please. So for me, the whole Randy Arozarena home run celly drama, big nothing burger. And the Rangers, it's not a great look for them. Get out of your feelings and get into the win column. I hate the getting upset about home run celebrations thing. It happened in the COVID year when we were playing the Padres. If you remember, Fernando Tatis swung 3-0, and the Rangers got in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Chris Woodward was fired up about it, Rangers manager at the time. Can we stop getting into the headlines for our butthurtedness, please? That's the only thing that is going to come in the form of a headline for us today, is how butthurt we were because we were sad that Randy Arozarena celebrated the home run a little bit too much. Just not a fan. Maybe, and I'm actually pretty old school in some ways when it comes to the game of baseball. I do not like the look that we get from complaining and whining about guys celebrating home runs too much. I think it's a bad look. I really do. You might not like the antics from Arozarena. My humble opinion, don't let him hit the homer. Make better pitches. There's no reason to be upset at Randy Arozarena celly. We've got a Dolis Garcia that does stuff like that all the time. If Dolly was doing it, I doubt there would be a diatribe occurring about the right way to play the game. Dolly does it all the time when he hits a home run. And look, he's hit 22 of them this year. I wish he'd be hitting a lot more than that. Nobody would be upset in Rangers Nation if Adolis did anything remotely close to what Randy Arozarena did. Not a fan of Jonah Heim getting up in his feelings, and anybody else on the Rangers team for that matter. You're getting your butt kicked in Seattle this weekend. That's the last thing that you need to be worried about, is how much Randy Arozarena celebrated the home run. Let's keep going here. We're in the top of the ninth right now. 7-0. Leody Taveras up. So we're going to finish this one out with you guys. You got any comments, anything you want to add in? Greatly appreciate it. I'll get to some comments here in a little bit. Yeah, Wintry plays baseball. Appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I definitely agree with this statement. Garcia does strike out a lot. I think he's got about a strikeout a game average. Jonah Heim, I love too. Did not love him getting so peeved by that home run celebration today. I also am excited for Kumar Rocker. He'll be pitching in that homestand that the Rangers have coming up this week. Off day tomorrow for the Rangers, by the way. Probably needed at this point as Leody Taveras strikes out on a very bad pitch in the dirt. Jonah Heim coming up right now. This could be an interesting at-bat. I don't think that they'll hit him, but this could be an interesting at-bat. Jonah Heim was one of the big guys talking after Randy Arozarena got done with his home run celebration. Heim was barking at the Seattle dugout. He is, looks like batting 0 for 3 on the day, 0 for 2. Strike 1 to Heim right now. 213 average on the season. Again, kind of an interesting at-bat here. They just hit Randy Arozarena. You wonder if there'll be a little bit of retaliation here with Heim, one of the big talkers in that whole thing. Let's see what happens here. Jonah Heim deep out to center field. Looks like it's going to be caught, though. For a second, it looked like Heim got that one, but there's 2 outs quickly in the Rangers' top of the ninth. Bazardo in to close it out. Travis Jankowski will be the last hope for the Rangers in this one. Rangers won game 1 on Thursday night. It was looking very promising that the Rangers might at least get a split with 3 opportunities, but it was not meant to be. Travis Jankowski, first pitch here. Strike 1. Never mind. That's going to be ball 1. That looked like to be pretty perfect right on the black, but nevertheless, here comes pitch 2. 2 outs, top of the ninth. Rangers down 7-0, 1-0 count to Travis Jankowski. Here's the pitch. We've got strike 2, or strike 1, 1-1 count. Sorry, I keep thinking that first pitch was a strike. It was just so beautiful. Umpire called it a ball. No idea what he was seeing there. 1-1 count. All the Mariners fans on their feet. That's been a live crowd this weekend. Extremely live crowd. Playoff environment. These are basically playoff games for the Mariners at this point. So, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, these are playoff games for Seattle. They have got to win these games. So, I totally get it. Would be the exact same way if this was the Rangers in Seattle situation. Strike 3, nasty curveball or slider, actually, from Bazardo. Inside and low. Jankowski down swinging. And the Rangers drop 3 in a row to the Mariners. They lose Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and they will go into the off day with the tail between the legs somewhat. They will look to rebound against the Blue Jays, and then the Mariners will be back in Arlington on, I believe, Friday night for a 3-game set. That'll be the last 3 games that they play each other this season. Hopefully the Rangers can play spoiler at home. They really helped out the Mariners this weekend, especially dropping those last 3. I really hope that the Rangers are going to be able to play some spoiler next weekend when Seattle comes to our place. But it was not a good series. And Andrew Heaney pitched well today. Only 3 earned runs, 5 innings. Looks like he went a total of 89 pitches. Look, maybe you extend Heaney out to 6 innings if this isn't the season that it is, where the Rangers are totally out of it. not mathematically eliminated, but pretty much for all intents and purposes, they are. Maybe you see Heendog go out there in the 6th, but at 89 pitches, you're down 3-0. There's no signs of life from the offense. I understand why they pulled him. Festa and Garabito come in, not their best performances. Look, Garabito had done really well, albeit in a small sample size, but we're seeing him start to give up some runs here of late. Garabito goes 2 innings, gives up 5 hits, no walks, 3 earned runs in 2 innings. Not ideal. Festa, 1 inning, 1 earned run, 2 hits. So the bullpen guys behind Heaney could not keep this game close. Andrew Heaney, I mean, he has got to be one of the least supported pitchers in terms of offense over the course of this season. Top 5, I would almost bet on it, maybe even top 3. Andrew Heaney gets 0 runs of support in his effort today, in what was otherwise a very good outing from him. He did give up the 1 home run to Mitch Garver. You take away that pitch, Andrew Heaney basically pitched shutout baseball today. There were some innings where runners were on, but Andrew Heaney, once again, a very solid outing. He drops to 5-14 on the season. 3.89 ERA, and you're 5-14. That just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it tells you how bad this Rangers team has been this year. It's been very, very ugly. And it's sad that we couldn't have done Andrew Heaney a little bit better this year. But here we are. Andrew Heaney, though, I'm happy for him. At least he is going to get paid in the offseason. I can imagine he's going to be able to get a 3-year deal from somebody in this game. I mean, I can't imagine that nobody is going to be giving Andrew Heaney a contract, 3 years, 36 mil, 3 years, maybe 45 mil. Depends on his last couple of starts, but I really, really feel good about Andrew Heaney getting a nice contract in the offseason. Don't think there's any way that he actually ends up staying with Texas. Would I love it? Absolutely. Do I think it's going to happen? No. I mean, if I'm Andrew Heaney, you're in your early 30s. You only have so many opportunities to get multi-year deals done. I think this is the year, if you're Andrew Heaney, maximum years, maximum dollars, secure the future. You've just had an outstanding season. I really think Andrew Heaney is going to get a nice payday. Justin, what's up, man? I see your comment about Heaney and Skaggs. If you don't know the backstory, Andrew Heaney and Tyler Skaggs, I believe that's the first name. I hope that I got that right. We're really, really close friends. Skaggs died from a drug overdose in a Texas hotel right before the Angels were about to play the Rangers. This is several years back. Look, I'm sure, and I know that it greatly affected Andrew Heaney to have such a good friend like Tyler Skaggs pass away. I don't know if it's affected his game. He seems to be pitching fine right now, but definitely know that it affected him on an emotional level very deeply. I mean, one of your best friends dies suddenly like that, drug overdose. Can only imagine. But I will say Andrew Heaney is having a great year. And I absolutely think that he is going to be a coveted arm in the offseason. Don't think the Rangers are going to be able to maintain him. That would be great, but I just don't see it happening. So same old for the Rangers today in an Andrew Heaney start, giving him basically nothing in terms of runs and run support. It's sad, but credit to Andrew Heaney. It's not easy to know you're not going to be getting run support start after start and still go out there and turn in quality outings. 5 innings, 3 earned runs. You'll take that from your 4th or 5th starter all day long, all season long. That's what Andrew Heaney's been doing. Look, if this is your ace, of course, 5 innings, 3 earned runs is a little mediocre. For a guy that was supposed to be your 4th or 5th starter, giving you 5 innings, 3 earned runs, that's phenomenal. And Heaney has been doing it all year. Got to give Andrew Heaney his respect, his flowers. Gonna miss him next year. If the Rangers can find some way to not overpay and bring him back, I would love it. But I am not holding my breath on that one. Not holding my breath at all. Cassidy, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, the Guardians are having a great year. We'll see how they do in the playoffs. It's been a while for Cleveland in a World Series. They had that heartbreaker back in 2016 with the Cubs. Look, Cleveland is a team I wouldn't mind seeing do well. Personally, the teams I'm cheering for in the playoffs. And I think the Royals are still in the mix. I'm cheering for the Royals and the Diamondbacks. Cheering for the Royals and the Diamondbacks in the playoffs. When I am not cheering for my own team in the playoffs, I want the most boring playoffs ever with teams that really aren't very well supported around the league. Give me Royals and give me Diamondbacks in the World Series. I mean, look, if the Yankees make it, obviously there's going to be a lot more hype. It might be a little fun for me, a baseball guy here at Right On Rangers, talking about it. But you know what? Give me Royals and Diamondbacks in the World Series. My prediction, my official prediction, is Dodgers Orioles. Haven't made a call on who's going to be the winner in that series, but my official prediction for the World Series is Dodgers Orioles. That being said, I'm loudly cheering for Royals Diamondbacks. Loudly cheering for that. Hard to be a Dallas-Fort Worth sports fan today, John. I totally agree. We were on the Cowboys Live a little bit earlier today. So those of y'all that have been with me for a while, you know I cover pretty much everything sports here on the channel. But there's a big emphasis on the Rangers, the Cowboys, the Dallas Mavericks, the Texas Longhorns, basically all the teams that I love from the great state of Texas. So we did a Cowboys Live today. Talk through that painful experience. I think I've somewhat recovered and flushed it out of my system, but then I had to turn on the Rangers game and just get doubly depressed. So, like I've always said to you guys, this is kind of therapy for me, especially after the losses. You just get to talk it out. You know you're not alone and you're suffering, as some of y'all comment and chime in. I appreciate all of y'all watching, by the way, and all of y'all's comments too. They make the show a lot better, so thank you. John, hang in there, buddy. I'm hanging in there too. Tomorrow's an off day, so unfortunately, you kind of got to stew on this one a little bit. You got to stew on the Cowboys loss until next weekend. You got to stew on this Rangers loss and series loss and butt kicking until Tuesday when the Rangers go back home to play the Blue Jays. We'll be previewing that series in a little bit, by the way. But the Rangers will play the Blue Jays and then the Mariners again this week at Globe Life. Last homestand of the season. If you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area or close, I would highly recommend getting out, supporting the boys one last time. Get out there for a Kumar Rocker start. I would love to see the Kumar Rocker start just be absolutely packed at Globe Life. If you are a fan of the Rangers, a true fan, get your butt out there for that Kumar Rocker Globe Life start if you don't have anything else going on. We got to pack that stadium for his home debut. I would love to see that. DeGrom as well. Get you out there for a DeGrom start. Right? DeGrom's been on a long road. We love our players. We want the best for them. It's a long road when you're recovering from Tommy John. Go out and show Jacob DeGrom some love. I know I surely would be if I lived in the area. A lot of y'all know I live in the Vegas area, have for a long time now, almost 15 years, but grew up in Dallas, grew up in Arlington to be more specific. And that is where I gained my love for all things Dallas-Fort Worth sports. Not an easy time. It's a tough time right now being a fan of the Rangers. But you know what? World Series last year, you got to count your blessings. Cowboys lose today, but you know what? The Baltimore Ravens are 0-2. They're coming to town next week. It could be worse right now for the Cowboys. 1-1, not bad. On to next week and on to Tuesday for the Rangers. Rangers almost were no hit today. Just an abysmal day at the plate. Felt like a complete mail-in and a nail in the coffin started by Garver in that first inning. Yep, Garv Sauce just had to come to play today, didn't he? He's hitting below the Mendoza line on the year, but Mitch Garver just had to come to play today. So did Jordan Montgomery earlier in the week when we played the Diamondbacks. Dude just had to have like his best outing of the season against us, did Jordan Montgomery. Same thing for Mitch Garver. Had to have one of his best days at the plate playing against the former team. That's just how the Rangers season has gone this year. It really is. So, not surprised. And Mitch Garver, by the way, on the day, I believe he was like 2 for 4, 3 RBI. Let's see here. 3 for 5, actually. My bad. 3 for 5 with 3 RBI. Arozarena had a big game today. We already talked about the Randy Arozarena celly. Look, I'm not a big fan of getting butthurt about home run celebrations. I think it's actually a pretty bad look for Jonah Heim and really anybody on the Rangers getting upset about Randy Arozarena. Look, you guys are getting your butts kicked in Seattle. That's the least of your problems. Randy Arozarena celebrating a little bit too much around the base paths. Especially not a great look for Jonah Heim, just having a terrible season. You know what? If you don't want him to celebrate, don't let him hit the home run. Pitch him better. Call better pitches back there behind home plate. I don't know what to tell you. I just think the Rangers need to get out of the headlines for being butthurt about home run celebrations. It happened back in 2020 with Fernando Tatis Jr. hitting the grand slam on the 3-0 pitch in the COVID year. Chris Woodward got all upset about it post-game. It's just not a good look. You just don't want to be in the headlines for that, especially when you're getting your butt kicked on the field. So, not a fan. And then they go and hit him in his next at-bat. Randy Arozarena gets plunked after the home run celebration. Just petty to me. Not needed from the Rangers. I know that we have some old school fans, and I totally get it. I get some people don't love the home run cellies. It is what it is in today's game. And at this point, I think you got to get over it. It's a part of the game. We do not need to be, though, barking at the Mariners. They're kicking our butts. The last thing we need to be doing is getting up in our feelings about a guy celebrating a home run a little too long. All right. Got to keep moving. That's my Randy Arozarena home run take. Yeah, the Mariners, though, they did well to come back and play 3 great games. The Rangers should have won, what was it, a couple of nights ago? I think it was the 5-4 loss. Rangers should have won that game. They could have split this series. What does it really matter at this point? The Rangers are not making the playoffs, and the chances of them going 500 are seeming pretty slim at this point. They would really have to have an outstanding rest of the year. Would it even be possible? I mean, look, to go 500 down the stretch, you'd have to go 10, 11, and 3, something like that. I don't even know. 79 losses. No, you would have to go 10 and 2 to even be 500. I don't see the Rangers going 10 and 2. I hate to be a pessimist, but I just don't see the Rangers going 10 and 2. Let me keep going here. John says, yeah, don't like it. Do something about it. Get some base hits. Put up or shut up. Go sit on the freaking bench. Awful look. I agree. I mean, that was my initial instinct. No, not in a one-hit effort. You have one hit on the scoreboard, and you're barking at Randy for launching one. I mean, that ball was tatered into left center field, and you're whining with one hit to your name. And Jonah Heim especially. I love me some Jonah Heim. Think he's an awesome guy. Appreciated everything he did for the team last year in the 23 run. He's having a terrible year this year. Is that really the guy that you want barking at the Mariners for celebrating too much? The guy that's hitting like 210 and can't throw anybody out? Look, I don't want to say these things out loud, but this is what you open yourself up to when you're getting butthurt about home run cellies. Do something about it or shut up and just take your loss. I just did not like that look at all for the Rangers. Not a fan of it. Think that you got to get over it. It's a part of the game today. Look, I've seen a lot more egregious home run celebrations than what Randy Arozarena did. Let me just say that. A lot more egregious home run cellies than what I saw today. All right. So Rangers today, by the way, no opportunities. The box score is like the thinnest that I've ever seen it. It's crazy. So there was no RBI. We got shut out. There were no runners in scoring position today at any point. No runners in scoring position today for the Rangers. They had one total base. They did ground into a double play. That was Carson Kelly. And they did turn one double play throughout the course of the game. That's it. This is the thinnest box score I think I've seen this entire season. And that's really all you need to know. A lot of offers. Let's see in the strikeout category, only 6 strikeouts on the day. So Texas actually put the ball in play a little bit, but nevertheless, an abysmal day at the plate. Ugly. And I think it got a little uglier when they decided to get upset about that Randy Arozarena celebration. And we talked about the pitchers. Andrew Heaney, of course, no run support. Feel bad for the guy. We're watching probably Andrew Heaney's last starts here as a Texas Ranger. Sad that we couldn't have sent him off a little bit better, but this is the Texas Rangers offense in 2024. Heaney goes 5 innings, 3 earned runs, 3 Ks, only 1 walk, 8 base runners in 5 innings. Not ideal, but again, anytime you get 5 innings, 3 earned runs out of your 4th or 5th starter, you're going to take that all day long. Heaney, 3.89 ERA, 89 pitches on the day. We talked early on the show, if the Rangers weren't in such a terrible spot right now record-wise, maybe you would have seen Andrew Heaney get stretched out to the 6th, only at 89 pitches. But in a situation where you're out of it, you're not making the playoffs, there's really no reason to stretch Andrew Heaney. The bullpen really wasn't that taxed, and they had guys that they could throw today, especially going into the off day. So I'm okay with the move. I mean, look, if this was like competing for a playoff spot, I think you got to throw Andrew Heaney a 6th inning, but no problem with it, being that the Rangers are out of it and don't have a chance to really play in October. I mean, barring an epic collapse from the Mariners and the Astros down the stretch. So going into this week's matchups, I don't even know if the Rangers have announced starters or anything like that going into next week. But let me check it out and just see what we've got going on. So off day tomorrow for the boys. That'll be good. Clear their minds, get back home, have an off day with the family in the comfort of their own home, in their own beds. I think that'll probably be nice for the Rangers at this point after a little bit of a lengthy road trip here on the road, Arizona, and then you go to Seattle. So right now, we've got the Rangers announcing Evo as their starter for Tuesday night. So Nate Eovaldi will start Tuesday night. Wednesday will be Cody Bradford. Thursday will be Kumar Rocker. So you've got Evo, Bradford, Rocker. Hey, I like the sound of that. If you're a Rangers fan, you've got to love the sound of Evo, Bradford, Rocker, 1, 2, 3. And I think that just kind of goes to my point into next year. The rotation is going to be solid next year. Like, let's keep trying to dwell on the positives. Evo, I think, is going to get back. I think they're going to find a way to bring Nate Eovaldi back, unless there's some team that is just willing to crazy overpay for him. I think Evo likes being in Texas, where he grew up. Didn't grow up in the Arlington area. I think he's a Houston kid. But Evo, I think, has a great relationship with CY. Obviously, this is a place where he just recently won a World Series. I think they're going to be able to get Nate Eovaldi back. So I'm going to assume DeGrom, Evo, Rocker, Bradford, Malley, possibly Leiter. That's a really solid rotation. I think the Rangers need to put all of their focus into improving the offense in 2025. That's where they need to start, 100%. Improve the offense. Go out and get you some decent free agents, maybe 2 decent signings. Maybe you can overpay for one of those guys. You've got to get better offense in 2025. You cannot count on guys like Heim, Garcia, even Evan Carter bouncing back from a really bad year. I know Carter was injured. We talked about it on the show last night. Evan Carter was in an 0 for 18 when they put him on the IL. I mean, just not good. So am I counting on Evan Carter coming back and being the guy that helped lead the Rangers to their first World Series title? No. Do I think Evan Carter is going to fall off the face of the earth and just be terrible from here on out? No. I'm just saying, don't count on him being a middle of the order productive bat. Count on him slowly working his way back over time and maybe being a prominent figure in the Rangers lineup at some point in 2025. But I'm not putting all my eggs in that basket. I'm going out, trying to get an outfielder, making sure that the catching position, either Carson Kelly gets re-signed or you go out and you sign another catcher to challenge Jonah Heim. We know that the catcher that we just drafted, Malcolm Moore, right? I was kind of, I think, butchering that last night on the fly. But no, Malcolm Moore, catcher out of Stanford. Who knows how quickly he makes it through the ranks. I would still go get another catcher and have some insurance in case Jonah Heim is just going to be eternally stuck in this mire. But Malcolm Moore, hopefully we see him in a couple of years. I think the Rangers are going to have to kind of limp by. So outfielder and then the first base position. I would be looking at how can we improve at first base. Nate Lowe, I love the guy. Awesome, awesome clubhouse guy. But I'm looking to upgrade the first base position. You have got to get at least 20 to 25 home runs out of your first baseman. You have to. Have to. So those would be the areas I'd be looking at. But look, back to the original point, we were looking at the starting pitchers for the Blue Jays series that starts on Tuesday in Arlington. Evo Bradford Rocker. I love the sound of that. I do think that the Rangers rotation in 2025 is going to be one of the best in the American League, if not the major leagues. Now we have to fix this offense, this terrible offense. We've got to fix it going into 2025. Let me keep going here. Press play. What's up? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you. For all y'all on TikTok, I've got YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram on my Mac in front of me here. Got y'all on my phone. So I'm reading off some comments as we go. Press play says, I hate to admit it, but the Yankees are best positioned for the run at the trophy. Look, I have my reservations about the Yankees. I think they're very Judge Soto-centric. Then you've got a bunch of other guys that are kind of unproven in the playoffs. For pitching, you've got Garrett Cole. And then I think, again, a bunch of unproven guys in the playoffs. Yankees are not my pick out of the AL. I am picking the Baltimore Orioles. I like Corbin Burns as your number one. You've got some other pitchers that I think are very, very good as well. I think, too, you had the Orioles getting embarrassed last year by the Rangers. My personal feel is that the Orioles are going to be out for blood in the postseason, looking to prove a lot of doubters wrong after getting embarrassed last year against Texas. So that's my pick in the AL. I think the Yankees don't have enough pitching. I don't think they quite have enough pitching to get it done. Look, the Orioles, they absolutely don't have the best of the best at the starting pitching spots, but I like who they have. I think they've got an ace in Corbin Burns, and I think that they have just enough other guys to get it done. Let's look at the pitching, though, right now. So you've got Suarez with a 3.39 ERA. He's got 95 Ks and 120. You've got, let's see, Grayson Rodriguez, 3.86 ERA on the year. And there's a couple of other guys, I think, who are solid as well. The bullpen, I think, is really, really good. So I really think the Orioles probably have the best shot, at least on paper. But for me, that's my pick. That's my pick. I know that the Orioles have been a little bit down, but let's be honest. The Rangers were super down before they went on their run. Playoffs are a different beast. I think you can point to a lot of regular season stuff, but the reality is the playoffs are just a different animal. It really doesn't matter how well you're playing at the end of the year. What matters is how well you play once October baseball starts. The Rangers are the perfect example of that. Last year, they played their last series against Seattle, and they lost 3 out of 4 games up there. They did clinch a playoff berth, but they looked absolutely terrible with a chance to win the division. Houston ended up stealing it from them on a tiebreaker. I don't think it really mattered how well the Rangers were playing at the end of the 2023 regular season. I do think that the Orioles have the best chance. And in a one-on-one matchup with the Yankees, look, who knows what could happen? But I will say this. There was a series that the Yankees and Orioles played pretty recently. Wasn't that the one where Verdugo ran like 5 feet in and then the ball went over his head and they walked it off? I feel like that series was pretty favorable for the Orioles. I mean, that's just off my memory, press play. So you correct me if I'm wrong. I think that series was in Baltimore and it didn't go great for the Yankees. Again, that was the one where Verdugo lost the game running in on a fly ball and it went over his head for the walk-off. I mean, I think the Orioles have had some pretty good games against the Yankees. So I'm picking Orioles over the Yankees. I don't like the Yankees anyway, so I have that part of it too going for me. But I think that the Yankees obviously could go pretty far if Judge and Soto are otherworldly. But again, a lot of unproven playoff bats in that lineup, a lot of unproven pitchers in that lineup. You just don't know how guys are going to react. I'm interested to see what happens. I think the Dodgers, I'm seeing Deer Hunter, I'm seeing your comment here. I do think the Dodgers are going to find a way to advance. My hope is that it's the Diamondbacks. I'd much rather cheer for the Diamondbacks in the World Series again than any other team. But I do think the Dodgers are going to be a team to be reckoned with once it becomes playoff time. You got Mookie Betts. You got Ohtani, Freddie Freeman. You've got a number of guys that I think are going to be very, very playoff battle tested when it comes to October. The pitching is a little bit of a question mark for the Dodgers. I think that's probably the biggest question mark for them. That offense will play in October, though. And I'm excited to see Ohtani in October. Now that he's not in the division with the Rangers, I think it's going to be great. Going to be able to appreciate him a little bit more instead of cheering for him to get out every single time. Daniel, what's up, man? He says, you can pick the Orioles over the Yankees. Just remember, Judge can hit grand slams. Yeah, the Orioles lineup can hit grand slams too, bud. I mean, let's be real. The Orioles have one of the best lineups in the major leagues. That lineup rakes. The Yankees have two guys, Judge and Soto. And if those guys aren't doing well, Aaron Judge, fortunately, he busts out of the slump that he was in the month of September, hits a grand slam against the Red Sox for a big win. Look, the Orioles have a more complete lineup than the Yankees do. I don't think that's even arguable. And I think that they're at about the same level pitching-wise. Now, who wins home field advantage? That could be interesting. So right now, you look at the standings, and we've got the Yankees ahead by 3 games. Maybe the home field matters a little bit. But for me, I don't know. I'm not really that big of an enthusiast when it comes to home field advantage. Like, you've got to have it. Otherwise, you're not going to win the World Series. There have been teams that haven't had a home field advantage that have won the World Series in recent years. The Rangers are one of them. I'm not that big of an investor in you've got to have home field. Baseball is one of those games where, yes, the environment, the atmosphere at the stadiums in October, it can get crazy. But for me, I think you can win anytime, anywhere, if you truly are a good team in this league. I'm not too worried about the Orioles not having home field. I think the Yankees have a lot of pressure on them. I think Orioles actually are still a pretty young team that doesn't really have a lot of pressure. Again, they got embarrassed last year by the Rangers. That's my pick. But look, enough about other teams that I don't really care that much about. I mean, I can talk baseball and talk all teams in MLB all day long, but this is a Rangers show, and we're going to dial it back in. Series with the Blue Jays, series with the Mariners. We'll see if there's any carryover from the Randy Arozarena drama in that Mariners series. I'm pretty interested to see, but not a whole lot else to cover beyond that today. Rangers get a nice off day. They're not technically eliminated yet, but it's getting pretty dang close. The Astros have won 3 in a row. Mariners have won 3 in a row. Mariners are only 2.5 games out of the wild card now, and you've got 12 games left. It's going to be close for Seattle. They are going to have to stay hot in order to make playoffs. It's not a foregone conclusion that they're in. Hopefully the Rangers can play spoiler this upcoming weekend. That's the goal. Well, all right, y'all. Hey, if you're following along with me right now and you are not subscribed yet to the channel, would greatly appreciate you hitting that subscribe or follow button. If you know someone that loves the Rangers, loves baseball, I would greatly appreciate if you would tell them about the channel, share one of my videos with them. Let's keep growing this good community of great people talking baseball, talking Rangers baseball. I love doing this. It's not always fun getting on after these losses, but this is absolutely a team that I love no matter what. And I wish and hope that next year is going to be a better year for these boys. It's been a little brutal at times, but I appreciate some of y'all hanging with me through thick and thin, hanging with the Rangers through thick and thin. That's a true fan right there. And we will be here the last 12 games. Doesn't matter how painful they are. We will be here for the last 12 games of the season, ready to close out 2024 mercifully and start looking forward to a really, really hopeful 2025. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday night. Enjoy some Sunday night football tonight. Who is it? Bears and Texans? Is that right? Bears and Texans tonight. Enjoy some Sunday night football. Hopefully the Eagles lose tomorrow on Monday night. And then we will lock in on the Rangers for their series upcoming with the Blue Jays starting Tuesday with Evo on the bump. And as I always say to end every show, God bless and go Rangers.